Alright guys, welcome back to the Bandit Models Diamondback build. So, last video I was working on the rudder and I'm finished with that, but I did make some changes. Instead of butchering the rudder, I went and got I went and bought one, but I actually had one. So I had a longer arm that you can kind of see there. And it's about even on, it's about a 1-to-1. So better than having a reverse linkage, but I don't like to go like that, but this should be no problem. I mean, that's a nearly 600-ounce servo, so as long as we don't have any kind of flutter issue, it should not be a problem, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. So I did put my link, and I put the Dubro heavy duty ball ends on, just because they're smoother than the stock. These T1s, the balls don't really move in there. It's like they're boogered up. They will move, but they're just not. It's a lot of friction in there, and they're just not smooth. They're just cheap. And these are just, I'm sure they will work, and I've used them, but I wanted to get something a little better and smoother. So it's there, and I have plenty of throw. It's 50 to 55, and with that I don't have to trim anything. And like I said, I wish they wouldn't cut this, because you can obviously see that it's not where it needs to be. So you know, so anyways, just minor little things, just recommendations. Lock nut, and I did put a washer on top there to just in case the ball, it did pop off the ball. It's kind of like a safety feature, kind of like the real aircraft do, like helicopters. They have usually have a thing on them. And then I moved on to the elevators, and elevator hardware is similar to the rudder. It's just the screws, the washers, their rod. I'm actually using their rod for the elevators, because I didn't have one of mine that was the right size. They're just a little too long that I had, but these are really stiff, so they are not like the rudder one. The rudder one was kind of flimsy, so these are actually good, okay to use. And like I said, the screws, and if you use their ball ends, it's a 3mm, but when you use the Dubro, it's a standard. I think this is 3/32 that you use. Yeah, 3/32. So that's the change. And then of course, instead of using the M3 lock nuts, you use the ones that come with the Dubro heavy duty, and they're a little bigger. But, and you can kind of see, because it is a shorter arm, you do have to kind of cut into the skin, but because it's on the bottom, you don't really see it. And you know, that's almost a throw, because it's like 30mm that you need. So you have to do kind of like these T-bone looking things. I had to do it on the Minion Jet, and then I'll take some black paint and touch that up so you don't see anything. And then when it's there, you really don't see it or anything like that. But that's your setup, nothing crazy. Servo goes in from the inside just like the rudder, so your screws kind of go through. I do have to trim a little of the fuselage in this area, because the servo's hitting the top, so I'll just take a Dremel and kind of shave right through here to get the servo, because I wasn't able to slide it all the way in to check the throw. So that's what I'm going to do when I pick this up. I'm actually going to call it tonight. It's been a long day. It's a Friday, getting up at 5 something and working all day, and then I came home, had to mow. So I'm a little tired, but I will do a live video on this one tomorrow, because I'm gonna finish this one, get everything on this one prepped, and then I'll do like installation live video. So a couple backtrack notes. Engine power is 160 to a 200. So that explains a few things. I thought it was kind of big for a 180, but it actually is designed for 160 to a 210 or 200 size. So it'll be interesting to see, because I'm going to be on the lower side of the thrust, but I think it'll be fine. So, and then if I happen to ever get rid of that turbine or decide I want to go larger, I'll put like a 195 in it. 195 would actually be perfect. You know, considering it's a 200, you can go up to a 200, because it's the size of the 166 that's in there now, and it doesn't use much more fuel than the 166. The Zykoy, that is 195. And what else was there? He did tell me that the screw coming in for the rudder in from the fuselage is, I guess, a mess up on the factory, not understanding his design. It's actually supposed to come from the top, so you can remove the ailer or the rudder. So probably other future kits will have it where you can just put the rudder on, put a screw in, tighten it down, and then if you take it off, you get it from the top, kind of like the canopy, versus having to come in from the fuselage. So that is I think a factory oops. And I'll get to the tank. He's actually going to offer like a CM tanks, the guy over in Europe that does the composite tanks, because that one is a T1 and it is kind of willy. It's not symmetrical. It's like they didn't glue the top on, because it's a bottom and top piece. The top is slanted, and I'm guessing you can see that. So there you go. So it's like the high side, low side. So you'd have to put your filter, your vent over here, and my OCD would go drive me nuts because I couldn't put it in the middle. But that's what they did. This isn't glued on straight. It's at an angle like this. So you can kind of see it there. So I'll back off and you can kind of see it. So kind of like a melting cake. But he's addressed that, and like I said, future kits shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, so that's really it. Just a small quick video and kind of update on where we're at. So I'm gonna go inside, chill out, drink a beer, and relax, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Yeah, ain't got nothing going on. Wife's got a wedding shower thing to go to, so I'll be in the shop tomorrow and tomorrow afternoon for a little while to finish up the elevators, and then I'll work on the wings. The wings should be easier because from the way it looks, the servos mount to the plates that bolt into the wing, so you should have plenty of clearance on the servo. You shouldn't have to do much cutting. So, but anyways, you guys take it easy. Have a good night. And appreciate all the comments. Quality-wise, somebody asked me about the quality. T1 typically, because T1 builds it for Bandit models. They did have Elite doing it, but it was so expensive, so we opted to have T1 build it at a cheaper cost, which I can understand, I guess. But T1 typically doesn't have a problem with sport jets. Somebody's asking how the quality was compared to Carf and Elite Aerosport. It's okay, and he stays on them, and I guess it's you know, he's making sure they're doing it the way he wants, so that's a good thing. I don't think the T1 pure models, even their sport jets, have that kind of QC, because I have had their sport jets and they had some issues here and there, but generally the layups are easier because it's a very simple kind of design. The scale is where they kind of tend to have the issues, a lot of issues with their scale jets, honestly. Sport jets typically are not an issue, but this particular model, I've looked through it. The glue joints are very clean. You know, they look pretty close to a car for an Elite Aerosport, honestly. The layup of the carbon and the AirX and the ply that's laminated with the carbon is really good. It's actually good quality aircraft. Seems to be aircraft ply for all like the servo mounts, the gear stuff. So that's a plus. It is actually true. It seems to be true aircraft ply. So I can't speak for all of T1 stuff, but the Bandit model stuff is bueno. So that's just my personal opinion from what I've got. And like I said, I've seen it fly, and they, they hold up just fine. So anyways, you guys have a good one. Cheers.